you have put the wild waters in this raw and lay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pit, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel, who no doubt had some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frotting souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father.
Naught to know to never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time. I should inform thee further. Lie there, mine art. Wipe thou thine eyes, have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have, with such provision in mine art, so safely ordered that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as a hair betid to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardst cry, which thou saw'st sink. Sit down, for thou must now know further.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour's now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came into this cell? I do not think thou canst, but then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? By any other house or person? Of anything the image, tell me, that hath kept with thy remembrance.
It's far off, more like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Did I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Yet thou hadst and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark, backward and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou cam'st here, how thou cam'st here, thou mayst.
That I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since. Thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, not you, my father.
And thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter, and thy father was Duke of Milan, and thou his only heir and princess, no worse issue.
Heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence, or blessed was we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence, but blessedly hope hither.
My heart bleeds to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you, father.
My brother and thy uncle, called Antonia. I pray thee mark me, that a brother should be so perfidious. He who next thyself, of all the world I love, and to him put the manage of my state, as at that time, through all the signories, it was the first. And Prospero the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts without a parallel. Those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state through stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thou attendst not.
Sir, I do.
I pray thee, mark me, I thus neglecting worldly ends, or dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, with that which, but by being so retired, prized all popular rate, in my false brother awaked an evil nature, and my trust, like a good parent, did beget of him a falsehood in its contrary, as great as my trust was, which had indeed no limit, a confidence sans bound. He being thus lauded, not only with what my revenue yielded, but what my power might else exact, like one who, having into truth, by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory, to credit his own lie, he did believe he was indeed the Duke out of the substitution, and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence his ambition growing. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for, he needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man. My library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable. Confederates, so dry he was for sway with the King of Naples, to give him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom yet unbowed, alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
The heavens.
Mark his condition and the event, then tell me if this might be a brother.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wombs have borne bad sons.
Now the condition. The King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that he, inured the premises of homage, and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honours on my brother. Whereon a treacherous army levied, one midnight, fated to the purpose did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness the ministers for the purpose hurried thence me and thy crying self.
Alack for pity! Wherefore do they not that coward destroy us?
A well-demanded wench. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colours fairer painted their foul ends. In few they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast, the very rats instinctively had quitted. There they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the winds whose pity, sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
Like what trouble was I then too?
Oh, a cherubim thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infuse it with a fortitude from heaven, when I had decked the sea with drops full salt.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan Gonzalo, out of his charity, who, being then appointed master of this design, did give us, with rich garments, linen, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steadied much. So, of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from my own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Sit still, and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, And here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it. But now I pray you, good sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind your reason for raising the sea storm.
No, thus far forth. By accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here cease more questions. The fringed curtains of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest yond.
What is the spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, wench. It eats and sleeps, and hath such senses as we have, such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and but he something stained with grief, that's beauty's canker, thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows, and strays about to find 'em.
I might call him a thing divine. For nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
Hello? Hello? Sure the goddess on whom these airs attend. Vouchsafe my prayer may know if you remain upon this island, and that you may some good instruction give how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is... Oh, you wonder. If you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but says...
Oh, my language. Heavens. I'm the best of them that speak this speech, were I but were to spoken.
How? The best? What wert thou if the King of Borthia heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders to hear thee speak of Borgia. He does hear me. And that he does I weep, and myself and Borgia, who with mine eyes never since it ever beheld the king my father wrecked.
Lack for mercy.
Yes, faith and all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain.
A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word!
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third person ere I saw the first, that ere I sighed for.
Oh, if a virgin and your affection not gone forth, I'll make you the Queen of Borgia.
One word more, I charge thee, that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy to win it from me, the lord on it.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell within it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him. He's a traitor. Come, manacle his neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be fresh brook mussels, with it roots and husks, wherein the acorn cradled. Follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power. Ah! 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 Ah!
Father, make your to try with him gentle and not
word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush! Thou thinkst there is no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish wench, to the most of men this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again. They have no vigour in them.
My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. When I but through my prison once a day behold this maid. All corners else of the earth let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
Come, follow.
Be of comfort, sir. My father's of a better nature than he appears by speech. This is unwanted, which now came from him.
Some sports are painful, and their labour delight in them set off. Some forms of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious. But the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labours pleasures. Oh, she's 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs and pile them up upon a soaring junction. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work, and says such baseness had never like executor. I forget. But even now these sweet thoughts do best refresh my labours, most busy lest when I do it.
Alas, now pray ye, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs that you are enjoined to pile. Pray set it down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father's hard at study. Pray now rest yourself, he's safe for these 3 hours.
Most dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray give me that, I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature, I'd rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonour undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you. And I should do it with much more ease, for my good will is to it, and yours it is against. You look weary.
No, noble mistress. 'Tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
My father, I broke your hands to say so.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration. Worth what's dearest to the world. And full many a lady have I eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I liked several women, never any with so full soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest ratio and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know what am my own, no woman's face remember, save from my glass mine own, nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, dear friend. And my dear father, how features are abroad I am skilless of, but by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish for any companion in the world but you. nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly in my father's precepts, I therein do forget.
I am, in my condition, a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so. And would no more endure this paper slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you, did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
Oh heaven. Oh earth, bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly invert what best is boded me to mischief, I beyond all else in the world do love, prize, honour you.
I am a fool to weep at what I'm glad of.
Wherefore weep ye?
Mine unworthiness that dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence bashful cunning, and prompt me plain and holy innocence. I am your wife, if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow you may deny me, but I'll be your servant whether you will or no.
My mistress dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage e'er freedom. With my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now farewell. Till half an hour hence.
1,000,000.